This is Jane Marie.
And this is Soko.
You are now listening to the Queer Ambition Podcast.
The Queer Ambition Podcast is the only podcast celebrating rising LGBTQ professionals,
providing advice on navigating the modern workplace,
and discussing polarizing topics within the community.
Now listen up.
So how you feeling?
I'm great. Born great. How are you feeling?
Born great.
I'm a happy person, all in all.
How do you carry so much confidence? Like, you walk in the room and it's just like, oh, okay.
This is a word that I'm shocked that people use to describe my personality. I really am, because I don't consider myself, I definitely don't think I grew up confident, right? Like, I think I'm sure of what I know, right? I'm sure of what I'm sure of. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that if I live a happy life, I tend to be happy. People around me tend to be happy, like if I stay in positivity. But I'm not sure I would call myself confident per se.
Okay. Well, how would you describe your presence?
It's loud. I do understand that it is loud, and it seems to definitely attract people. But I don't know. I don't experience me that often. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I mean, if confident is what it is, I'm into it. Like, it doesn't seem like a bad word to explain me.
Okay, so how does, you describing yourself as having this loud personality, lean towards developing Boi Society? And what is Boi Society?
That's a good question. So Boi Society, when it started, was it was a magazine for people who look like me. That's what I wanted to create. A friend of mine had found a platform. Now, this was 6 years ago, so this was somewhere around 2012, 2013, something like that. A friend of mine had it was a software back in that day, right? Magazines were starting to go away, but they definitely hadn't yet. But they had found a software where you could actually turn the pages. Okay. And I just thought that was...
Digitally.
Yeah, digitally. Like, this thing was amazing. Right, you see your face. Yeah. Like, I'm like, what? Like, you could just turn the page. Like, it would just... And I just thought that was the bee's knees, right? Like, I was like, nope, I got to make one of these. Oh, yeah. At the time, this was before Instagram. Instagram wasn't really popping like that. Like, it existed, but nobody cared, per se. No, it just was nothing, right? And I'm like, they had made one. It was cute. I was like, no, I could do that. And but it should be for like people who look like me. And they were like, oh, you mean like a Boi Society, right? I was like, oh, bet. Call it that. I did not care. The point was not to create a business. The point was, this software is dope. Yeah. I want to make a magazine. So I made one, right? And I sourced some pictures from the internet. In fact, Instagram had to be okay because I found some people who I knew were doing kind of cool fashion, kind of looked really cool. Mm-hmm. The thing could have gifts, right? You could put gifts in this thing. Wow. I know, we should have bought this software.
It's pretty powerful, yeah.
And it went out of business. But, we had a walking fashion gift in this thing. It was lit, right? And I had my own sayings. I had a fake, Michael Kors ad in the thing. It was beautiful, right? And I put it out. And as I recall, I put it out on Tumblr. Somehow Tumblr was this first place that we started with the platform. Mm-hmm. And then we also put it out on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And within weeks or days or very, very instantly, we had thousands of people following this thing. I know. And so at that time, then I'm like, okay, well, shoot. I guess I got to keep going. Mm-hmm. Right? And so I do. Yeah. 6 years later, here we are. So Boi Society, when you asked me what it is, it was this place where I found my identity and got to really explore identity kind of through this intersectional lens in a way that had just never been done before, right? So it was queer, it was masculine of center, it was people of color, it was and it was more womanhood, it was non-conforming womanhood, right? Mm-hmm. For Black people, for Black women across the globe. Mm-hmm. And, God bless us. It's been beautiful. But to come back to your question, that I believe is what has made me confident. That is what has allowed me to show up so present. Because I'm aware that, I can live my existence in any way, shape, or form that I want. And it can definitely still be beautiful. And so, so Boi Society gave me that gift.
That is beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's very, very beautiful. Like, I feel very blessed to have had the life that I have. And a lot of it comes from building this platform.
Well, we have to welcome you to the podcast. Welcome, Brooklyn, to the podcast. CEO, founder, everything of Boi Society.
Yes.
So happy to have you here with us.
I'm excited to be here.
In New York.
In New York. I'm in New York, right? New York is our biggest market by far, and I have never come since actually making Boi Society. Yeah. So this is like just like a gift for me. Mm-hmm. Like it's a beautiful thing to witness. Yeah. Like, because we've done a lot of things. So like we had a brunch on Sunday. It was really, really cute. Yeah. A lot of people came out. Like it was just, it's great to see everyone kind of up close in person.
So where are you now?
Where do I live now?
Yes.
Oakland. I was in Oakland when I started. Have been in Oakland. I don't know. Oakland doesn't get the same fashion love, I guess. So everybody's kind of thought we've been in New York this whole time, but sitting in the Bay.
Okay. And how does that translate for Boi Society?
What do you mean?
In terms of your audience. You said your biggest audience is in New York. How is your Cali audience?
Oh, our Cali audience is great. But we're in 22 cities. When we were shipping the Boys box, which was a subscription box for masculine, like for like accessories and clothes, and it was great too. We shipped that to 7 countries. You know what I mean? Yeah, like it's 50,000 people on the internet, which, you know, which is just a hard concept to understand, right? Because it's the internet, so you feel like people don't necessarily exist, but like, they totally exist, like, in the world, and, like, real. Walk around.
They're material.
That's crazy.
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, so you're kind of just, like, passing over these things that, to me, are so monumental. You said a subscription box, right? Yeah. So, like, some of the most amazing companies that we know, you know, Dollar Shave Club, all got famous and very rich off of something like that, and you kind of developed this for this, like, really niche audience that probably doesn't get the love that they deserve. So how did you develop that? Why? Do you still do it?
Don't still do it. People ask for it every day. And I know, guys, listen, I know. You want it. Okay.
You gotta do it.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
So much has happened between there, right? Like, okay, so I'll take you kind of through the story that'll get to the subscription box, that'll get to the thing, right? We'll make this cute. Well, you can take out what you don't want.
You're a storyteller. That's fine, though.
Maybe. I'm developing that.
It's good for marketing. So yeah.
Hey, well, there you go. Let's market away then, right? So Boi Society starts to get big, right? We decide, okay, whoa, now I gotta like maybe make a real magazine because this is not like a real one. And so we do that. We make a couple of issues. Well, we make an issue, make a couple of covers for the issue, and I'm just like, okay, wait, let's see if I have a proof of concept. Is this a business or not? Right? I've always been a business person, so like I think you have to know that with knowing how Boi Society grew, because my business mind is a lot of the reason we developed the other products that kind of came down the line.
Okay.
But we go and kind of make this, we make this print. So I go to print, I print out the magazine, and I wish I had I known I'd brought a copy. I'd have to take the one off my wall. But so we print it, and I start to take it around Oakland, because I mean Oakland is at the time, and I don't know if these numbers still put, but Oakland had more lesbians per capita than anywhere else in the country, and this still may. I mean, now we're being gentrified, so this may not be the case anymore, but still one of the highest.
Black lesbians?
No, lesbians in general, but like. We own lots of property in that area. Like, people are raising families in that area. Lots of business owners in that area. We're out there. And at the time, we were a lot less, I think, we weren't as strong of a black voice then, or even a people of color voice. It was just like boys across the spectrum, etc. So you could find anything, but there was no doubt there were black people on the cover on each one. And so we take it out, and I take it out, and I'm showing people. People are absolutely loving it, right? Take this magazine, I put it in your hand here, check it out. You look at it, and people would start to, like, keep it, and then they'd want to take it. I'm like, I don't have it, you gotta get it.
Damn.
Yeah,
break your heart. Yeah.
But I know, for real, I had like 8. I'm like, listen, I'm gonna need that back. Like, don't fold it. Like, people don't fold my magazine.
Damn.
And so we did that. And so we start going, and then I'm like, okay, whoa, we've got like thousands of people in this thing. Like this time there's like 7,000 or 8,000 people sitting here. And I'm like, okay, well, let's make t-shirts. Let's do something, right? I got to do something. One, I can't be, it's going to cost me to print these magazines, and nobody's going to buy a magazine. I knew that, right?
Yeah.
Like, we weren't buying magazines then, right? GQ, you can get GQ for $3.99. It was costing me $8 to print the thing. So I'm like, ugh, this ain't gonna work. Right? I didn't know much about business, but I knew math.
Yeah. Okay.
So, t-shirts.
Right on the
because that's the point, right? If you can't duplicate what I'm doing, then why are you really listening to me on a podcast, right? Like, you want to be able to do what I have going on. And so we make t-shirts. T-shirts do really, really well. We make some other products. They do really, really well. Then we started to like, you know, it's a magazine, so I need advertising, right? So now I know every brand along the way, everybody who's doing, you know, suits for masculine or queer people or people along that divide. I know, you know, you know, my job now is to know the culture. Now all of a sudden we are the culture, right? Which is insane in its own way as well, too. Like,
well, we've always been creating culture in a sense.
Totally. Oh, well, totally. We are culture.
Yes.
Collectively, yes. But then now Boi Society has taken on, like, we're sitting as this beacon of, like, identity, right? And it became a responsibility then to, like, how you show that and how you display that. One of the coolest things... Okay, so one of the coolest stories that I absolutely love is when I'm talking about how do you take responsibility for, like, holding that space and culture. Once I made my first issue, right, I happened to go to church that weekend. And my church is lit. Heart and Soul Center of Light, shout out to all of you who have church trauma. You should still come to this church. No, church trauma is a real thing. Oh, I know. And I'm at one of the good ones, and so you should just trust me on that. Because people don't understand. So I go to church. Yeah. I go to church, and Susan L. Taylor, who is the Essence magazine, Essence the Empire, she was editor-in-chief of Essence when Essence was, like, doing its thing. Yeah. So I had just made a magazine that had just come off fresh off the print. And here is, like, the quintessential Black editor of all times at my church, right? And so...
I'll talk to her.
Yes. Not only must I talk to her, but I gotta, like, go to the car and give a magazine, come back, like, and present this thing, right? So I do. I show it to her. She flips through the first one and is noticeably impressed, right? Like, I'm like, we did something. But she gets to this picture, and at the time we have Carter the Body in that, and we had Carter's then girlfriend in the thing that we had separated. And they're sexy pictures or sexual pictures, whatever it is. And she tells me at that time, she's like, first, the thing is beautifully designed. She says, but be careful about how you display sexual things. What we never did was sexualize people in essence. And it's advice that stuck with me from that day and definitely sculpted, like, how we've shown queer Black culture. And we'll continue to do so. You can make something sexy without making it sexual. And I think we've done such a great job of that.
Yeah, give an example.
Oh, gosh. I want to give an example. I mean, this is... So if you look at if you go kind of through what we display, you'll never see us display it in... Most people are fully clothed. We don't even do, like, the bathing suit shots or anything like that, most likely. We don't do any of the, you know, especially with lesbians themselves, people love to show us sexually, like where you're kissing on beds. And we've done the kissing and we've shown love. Yeah. We don't sell sex. You know what I mean? And that there is a very distinct difference.
I see that.
But it was such one that shifted the way I saw how we displayed it. And I think it's just paid off. Like, Susan, thank you.
Good advice.
Yeah. Thank you. Call me.
You know, everything happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Like, universe has been planting everything for me since early. I didn't do Boi Society. Universe did Boi Society through me.
You didn't even pick the name.
Nothing. I just stood in the space and kept consistent.
That's awesome. All right.
Yep.
All right, so here's like an overview of what we're going to do today. So, of course, we're going to start with our icebreakers. We actually are featuring a game called Mentally Stimulate Me. There are multiple choice questions, so you don't have to think. Usually we ask people, like, what are you going to say? And they're like, can you give me 5 minutes? It doesn't work out. But we have options today. Also, we're going to ask you a few questions to get to know you. And not so much focused on like your business, but just who you are, know, and what matters to you, of course, aside from Boi Society. And then we're going to get into that topic of the week, which is LGBTQI spaces and events. You ready?
Ready.
All right. Here is your icebreaker question.
Break me out.
You have proof that Bae is cheating. Just before you dump Bae, they hit the lotto. $2 billion. Okay. And Bae's going to give you half.
All right. Do I
wrote it down, signed it. I'm giving you half. But you know Bae's cheating. Yeah. Like you saw Bae cheating.
I saw Bae cheating.
A, dump Bae because money can't buy love. B, stay long enough to get half. Or C, forgive and forget.
I'll just answer this one without the options. Okay. I live a poly lifestyle, so if Bae is cheating, Bae should like stop lying to me. I'm not upset that you're cheating. I'm upset you're lying. So I would talk to Bae, like, and Bae should definitely give me half just because I'm G like that. But I would require that either way. Like I would not stay with Bae for Bae's money.
That's nice of you.
I mean, is she taking it in a lump sum? Because by that time, it's only like
you have 540. And you already calculated how much.
I am. Like, half is like 240 G's, which still ain't bad. It's nothing to gawk at. But, like, then I feel like Bae gonna want shit for real. Like, and Bae already a liar. Like, I gotta, for 240 grand, that's not even a house in Oakland. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so what we gonna do, Bae? We gonna just ride around while you lying to me? Like...
So you're poly.
My wife and I have lived a poly lifestyle for the last 2 years.
Learning more and more.
I've been married. We've been married since 2011. So what is that? 7 years. We've been together since I was 17. So 19 years. Yeah.
You gotta be poly.
Kind of. We've been together a long time. You gotta at least try it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't think we'll stick with it.
I'm gonna touch on that again.
Yeah, I know. We're coming back to that.
Put a pin in it. So. Your partner is offered a reality show if they get into a fake relationship. And they have to agree to keep you a secret. What are you doing?
Lord, nope. That's what I'm not going to do. I can do a lot of things. I can't be a secret. I just can't. Yeah. I can't. Like, why?
Like, for any means, like, for instance, you've never been a secret, like, when you were first coming out?
So... My wife was one of the first ones that, like, I mean, I was 17, right? She was not out to her family at the time. And I was like, I cannot be in a real relationship with you if you're in. Yeah.
So you were never out?
I was out at 16. I came out to my mom at 16. How? Wait. I mean, like, in how? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I look pretty, like, abnormal my whole life. So, in a good way. Like, I've never been the traditional anything. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
which is the best thing?
Kind of. It's worked well for me. Yeah. I mean, just to embrace it and, like, keep going. There is no... Yeah, no. And I won't do that now. I can't... That's part of the reason I stay in the Bay, right? I feel like the Bay Area loves all of my identities. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not sure even New York could pull that off. That queer identity is a real one. You know what I mean? Like I'm just out there. Yeah. And San Francisco gets out there kind of people, and Oakland's black. So it's like that combination came together. Nice. With the most lesbians per capita. I mean, like
I went to San Francisco Pride this year. We went and so queer, and I loved it.
No, I mean, it's a cute place. I would never live in San Francisco. I love Oakland. And again, Oakland's changing and gentrifying just like the rest of the world. But so far, she's cool. I think next for me, I don't know. I'm liking New York, y'all gotta do it. I gotta give more money because I can't walk around with y'all.
It's expensive.
Yeah, we're more expensive just per living. Like your food's cheaper, your housing's cheaper. Like
really?
Oh yeah, we're more expensive by far. Like by far. But you know, it's hard to say. Thailand, I think is my next one.
You can definitely afford Thailand. I'll tell you that.
Exactly.
All right. Last question. Last.
What is Bay doing now?
Bay doing things.
You know, see me.
Bay's on the move. Oh, by the way, I wanted to say, so going back to the second question, what if that was Bay's dream, was to be on a reality TV show?
But she had to lie about me. I didn't do that and come see me when the show over, though. Like, you know, so I'm supposed to sit at the house, do nothing, be a secret, while you're out with your new fake bae for all the world, though.
Yeah.
And so I'm supposed to we can't date. You and me can't date because that's some crazy shit.
I want to support everybody's dreams.
And me too. Go do that. Come see because you may end up like Cardi B, just blow the fuck up, and then I'm just gonna be in the corner while you and Devon Green, whatever. I don't know who you dating.
Damn, poor Cardi. Don't talk about Cardi. All right, Cardi is too much, Nikki. All right, you were going out with Bay and see her start a fight. She gets stomped out. What are you doing? A, letting Bay learn Bay's lesson. B, calling for help. C, jumping in to help. Or D, running from danger.
I cannot date Bay no more in general because she put me through stuff I just don't even deal with.
Bay likes to fight.
No, Bay need to get her life together.
Come on, what you gonna do?
I
think about this.
I really do
because you're not supporting Bay's dreams.
No, because Bay is upsetting me right now. Like Bay's dreams include me being a secret, and she already lied to me and cheating on me, and now you threw up your hands and you can't fight. What the? Bay? No. I'm fighting with Bay, but just because we're together. But I'm upset. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm have a whole section.
For real, this
is because first of all, I've never been in a fight in my life.
Same.
And so I don't even know if I can fight. Number one,
we're gonna find out.
But like, it's not even my fight. I should let your ass get beat up. But yeah, I'm fighting with Bay right now.
You redeemed yourself.
I guess. Y'all need new caliber of babes because I didn't date her in the
caliber is low. The bar is low for most things. I'm gonna let you know in my life,
Lord.
But I'm gonna let you know. All right, rapid fire questions.
Boop, boop.
You got 5 of them.
Let's go. Hit me up.
Describe yourself in 1 sentence.
Magnificent.
What are you currently working on in your personal and professional life?
I'm connecting people to money. That's my whole entire thing. 100 million in, 90 million out. We can come back to that one if you want it. Come on, rapid fire. I got 3 more.
I'm like assessing. What is a boy with an I?
Whoever says they self-identify as that. Like, yeah.
Where do boys fit in the LGBTQIA spectrum?
Wherever the fuck they want.
So can a man identify as a boy?
Absolutely, and I've seen it, and they're very upset they can't buy more T-shirts. I could have made way more money with them. They don't.
Why?
Oh God, they have more money just because of the system.
Yeah.
And for us, the word boy comes with if you're not already very secure, if you really do, the word boy also just like stud. Comes with its own stereotypes and what society puts on it and understands. Men, boy, there's no weird riff for the mind or anything like that. Women, boy, it's an automatic disconnect for society, which can just make people who are not secure with themselves uncomfortable, right? So as much as... Go ahead.
Stud and boy are the same?
No, but they're close, right? Why
are they not the same?
Because again, just how people identify. So if you have a trans man, right, may identify as a boy, may not identify as a stud. And a trans man may not identify as a boy at all, right? Stud women the word boy may make them uncomfortable. Like, I don't want to identify as boy or with a boy or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So because a lot of the reason we have so many labels is because we're uncomfortable with the stereotypes that come with those labels. Mm-hmm. If we could be, it's like being black, right? All of a sudden now you're light skinned or you're this or you're mixed or you're, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so because those identities are so harshly seen by this fake construct that we call society, if it can make it very hard to identify proudly, right? We didn't have the songs Say It Loud, I'm Boy and I'm Proud, that didn't exist. So it can be difficult. With men, no, they don't care. They fucking put on the shirt. They go out. They wanted the shirt so bad. Yeah. And I used to be, I'd give it to them. Like, you can, I'm not going to stop you from having it. But, like, it was very interesting. They were like, go sell this in Castro. And I'm like, it's not for them. And I love them, but it's just not for you. Like,
I'm glad you mentioned that. That's something. Okay, so there are a lot of people that probably doubt you. Mm-hmm. So what motivates you?
I think now I'm pretty convinced that people are going to talk about me when I die. Mm-hmm. I want them to have something interesting to talk about, right? Mm-hmm. Like, my legacy, and I think what I'm going to be able to leave behind is remarkable. Like, I've been given the gift of making something dynamic. Mm-hmm. And I've been given the gift of shifting culture. Like, we legit saw it. Like, part of the reason you're wearing the hat you are wearing today is because we were wrapped up in the fashion revolution that happened, right? Mm-hmm. And we became a voice for that. And so I've literally seen how something I've created has shifted things in the ether, right? And I did that once before. I used to throw big black lesbian parties in Nebraska. Mm-hmm. I lived in Nebraska for a decade. And so we'd have these parties, and there'd be like 200, 300 women chilling at these parties, right? Mm-hmm. Which is, nobody ever thinks that there's that many black lesbians in Nebraska alone, right? Okay. Or that they would come out. But what I could see is when I used to love to go to the mall whenever we were having a party, because that weekend you knew we were having one because everyone would be at the mall getting their fits. Yeah. And so I'm like, no, what you do has the ability to legit change a community and scope one. Yeah. And so then my question was like, how do you go bigger? Like, how do you for real make sure we're good? Like, if you can give us fashion, if you give fashion to 50,000 people, what else could you give to more people? Like, you know what I mean?
You kind of sound like Kanye a little bit.
Maybe. I hope not. Yes. I mean, in so many ways, he's good.
Before the slavery comment, yeah.
I mean, so good. Like, let's just note it right here on this right now. When I fuck up a decade from now and say some bullshit, I'm sorry, okay? I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to say the shit the way it came out. It made sense in my head at the time, but I get it. But I get why Kanye becomes Kanye.
So before we jump into, our topic of the week, I have to ask, and maybe I shouldn't ask, like I'm debating on my own. Are you traditionally educated?
No. Mm-hmm. No school, right? Like, I graduated high school. So, listen, God, that was a good question. What made you ask that?
Because who would think that you weren't by listening to you talk?
Totally am not. I grew up on historically black colleges, though. So my mom was an alumni director. So I was born in Tennessee, which was Fisk. We moved to North Carolina, which she worked at North Carolina Central. And then we moved up to Delaware, which is where I went to school. Mm-hmm. And so that was Delaware State. So I'm drenched in academia and in black academia, which is just a blessing. Like, let's just talk about my privilege along that line. Like, how I see my blackness is so intact. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And how I believe that we are is based off of that. And then I wanted to be self-made. And by that time, like, I graduated high school in 2000, right? Mm-hmm. So it's heavy 1990s music. So like Diddy's getting big, Jay's getting big. Like, it's popping. It's popping. I want it back. It's popping, but none of them went to school, and they're all like businessmen. You know what I mean? Yeah. Why? So I'm like, nah, I don't need that. I'm just gonna go be great. But I've been a big self-education type of person. Mm-hmm. So I educate myself often, all the time.
So how did that, collide with your mother's views, which were probably much stronger towards telling you to go to school?
I was very blessed. My mom never forced us to do anything. She highly suggested. Yeah. But no, I moved 2 months after I had met my current wife, my forever wife. Let's be clear on that. I had met her the year of my senior year. So 2 months after high school, I moved to Nebraska to be with her. I was like, nah, I'm out of here. And did some community college and kind of still do. Like, I'll go to school when I know there's something I want to learn. Like, I wanted to learn videography. Like, we were definitely doing media. And I'm like, no, video is absolutely the future. Mm-hmm. So, like, let me go to school for videography because I want to understand how to create this.
Yes.
So I'll do that kind of thing. But, I haven't found anything that I want to study for 4 years or take the debt on to do so. Because part of the reason I could do Boi Society full time for as long as I have is because I had no debt. So that's a part of the thing too. So before I'm willing to like allow you to make me a prisoner to your system, you gotta give me a really good reason on what you're gonna teach.
You had mentioned that. So what was it? 100 million?
100 million in, 90 million out. Like, because I can live off of 10 million.
So?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just, every year, yes, I can do that.
So what does that mean?
It means I'm connecting us to jobs in both tech and media. So right now, more than ever, the world's looking for our diversity, right?
Like, you're absolutely right.
I am loud and clear on that, right?
Right.
And when I look at it, I'm like, well, you need diversity? I know diverse people.
Yeah.
A lot of them. And a lot of them who are doing amazing things around the world, right? Like,
sometimes, like, many areas of diversity.
No, we're the unicorns. Everybody want to talk about these unicorns y'all looking for. I got a meadow. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're just all out here leapfrogging just with being our unicorn selves. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, y'all don't know how to find them. Well, okay, well, let me help you. But you need to pay these people like they weigh, strong, right? Mm-hmm. I want the highest paid numbers for my people. And I want to know that you're going to take care of them. Because I feel like both tech and media can be a little shifty at times.
How do you guarantee that? Well, before we get into how you guarantee that. So a lot of people can take an audience and they'll sell them one thing. Mm-hmm. Where they're like, this is what I offer. This is all I can sell. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But how do you go from knowing parties to Boi Society to like, wait, I have a really smart audience and there's so many of them.
Yeah.
Companies looking for diverse candidates. I've got diverse. How do you make those
slips or leaps?
People don't.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm a thinker for real. Like, I'm a Scorpio moon, so I'm an Aries. But like my moon, which is where you hold your feelings, is a Scorpio. And like, I don't play on the surface. Like, I'm not here, I'm just not here to play with you hoes. Like, at the end